All right. Shalom. This is Shir Yeshub Judah from the Truth Be Told Flex Podcast Extra. Behind me is an image of Demetrius Haley and Tyree Nichols. Demetrius Haley, in my opinion, is the ringleader as to why Tyree Nichols is no longer with us. This was a bad guy, and this is a story that is going to be talked about for months, as should be. Whenever developing information comes out about him or any of the four that had part in the beaten death of Tyree Nichols, it needs to be talked about. They need to be exposed as much as possible. I can't believe that an individual like Demetrius Haley was able to pass the psychiatric evaluation to even be considered to be a police officer, let alone whatever was in his evaluation, that it even warranted him being able to be a part of a special task force, the Scorpion Task Force, that was put together under the authorization of Saralyn C.J. Davis. When you go back and you look at her rap sheet, and when you go back and look at her history, you can almost understand why and how individuals like Demetrius Haley was a part of her unit. With that being said, I believe that Memphis should be held accountable as well to the death of Tyree Nichols, because it was Memphis who ultimately allowed these individuals and Demetrius Haley to be a part of their police department, to be individuals that were supposed to be held to a higher standard, individuals whose job is to protect the citizens and not terrorize them. While there are many, many stories that are coming out of the people that are in the neighborhoods where this special task force unit, the Scorpion, ride around and parade around, and how terrified they were of them. I happen to know an individual that is from Atlanta, and he talked about how terrifying Red Dog was, which is another task force unit. Now, Red Dog was not started by Saralyn Davis, but during her tenure there at Atlanta Police Department, I believe that she was the highest ranking officer of the Red Dog unit, which means that those individuals that was a part of that task force, they had to report to Saralyn Davis. 2011, it was dismantled because of the complaints that they was getting from the citizens in the neighborhood in which they were patrolling. Shortly after the death of Tyree Nichols, the Scorpion unit was also dismantled. Now, back to Demetrius Haley. When the death of Tyree Nichols was reported, you can ask anybody that know me. The very first thing that I said when I heard that it was five black police officers that killed a black individual by beating him to death, I said to myself, that was something that was personal. We need to get it out of our mind right now. Okay, let's stop believing it and let's not buy into the narrative that media is giving us. This was not police brutality. Police brutality is police who use their authority to do bodily harm and injury to individuals or kill individuals, while in their mind, they are doing their job in holding the law. They get too excessive with that. They will pull out the baton. They will pull out their taser. They will shoot you, but it's always doing a transaction of the cop being a cop, and in their mind, the bad guy being a bad guy. So therefore, they're justified in what it is that they're doing. This was not police brutality. This was personal. Again, like I said, when I heard it, I said this had to do with money. Maybe it had to do with drugs. Maybe it had to do with some female. But there is no way that 5 black police officers beat another black guy to death. Do you know what it takes to beat a guy to death? That's a lot of beating. That's a lot of beating. So back to Demetrius Haley, as we were saying, the stories was coming out that Tyree had befriended a female friend of Demetrius Haley at work. I don't know what it was like between the two of them. I myself personally don't know if it was true, but it makes all the sense in the world to me. Whoever the female was, Demetrius Haley had a relationship with her at one time. I believe there are some articles that say that it was his wife. There are some articles that say that it was his girlfriend. There are some articles that say that they shared a baby together. I'm not going to talk on anything that I don't know. I don't know if it was his wife. I don't know if it was his girlfriend. I don't know if it was his buddy with benefits. I don't know if they had a baby together. But I want to believe with every fiber in my body that there is a female involved in the death of Tyree Nichols. Tyree worked at FedEx, where this girl was supposed to have worked as well. She saw something in Tyree that she was not used to seeing in guys that she normally date. Now, this is just me talking, okay? This is not factual talk here, right? She saw something in Tyree that she wasn't used to seeing in guys that she normally date. She befriended Tyree and Tyree befriended her. And Demetrius found out about it. And Demetrius being the Demetrius that he has always been. So this is what you want to do. So this is what I'm going to do. On site, you stop him and you let me know where he is at. Because I need to talk to him. But as we know that the talking came by way of his foot and his baton and by way of his taser and by way of pepper spray, to the point that he talked so much to Tyree Nichols. Tyree Nichols is no longer with us. And I heard the reports at first that this guy, Demetrius Haley, took pictures of Tyree, and he sent them to the girl. It was like, hey, so this is the cat that you won't replace me with. Look at him now. I never reported on it because I did not know if it was true or not. But I said to myself then, I said, if it is true, the charges need to be upgraded from second-degree murder to premeditated. Now, what I can't understand, there's a lot of misunderstandings in this, but one thing that is hard for me to understand is how Demetrius Haley passion and rage, how he was able to influence 4 other individuals to carry through with this beat. This is why I said that this was not police brutality. This was a mob mentality. This was gangsterism at its finest. Go back, look at the video yourself. I won't be playing the video here on this station anymore because it is, a little bit too much for me to watch, right? But go back and look at the video. At the time that he stopped, I want to say that it was Emmett Martin III that went to the door of Tyree Nichols. He yanked the boy out of the car as soon as he got to the car. Now, during a routine police stop, police normally ask for what? License, insurance, registration. They got a kidnapping charge because they lied and said that Tyree was driving recklessly through the neighborhood. Now, Memphis has these cameras that is all over the city. And so they went back and they was looking at the video feed and they never saw Tyree riding recklessly because that video does not exist. They kidnapped the kid right then and there. And Emmett Martin III lied on one of the videos saying that when he approached Tyree, he asked him, "Bro, are you good?" And he said that Tyree swung on him and almost hit him. And he said, and that's where it went downhill from there. Now, the question I want to ask is that if Tyree had that energy from the time that he was stopped, where was that energy when they was beating him? When Demetrius kicked him in his face 2 times? When they was holding him up and Demetrius hit him twice until his knees buckled? What was that energy then? That energy did not exist, just like the reckless driving did not exist. This had nothing to do with police work. This had everything to do with, oh, you messing with my girl. I've been looking for you. I found you. Now I'm about to show you. So it was said that he had took pictures of the boy and that he texted him out. We never did report it here on Truth Be Told Flex podcast. And I said that if he did do that, it's going to come out in a trial. And if it come out in a trial, that his charges need to be upgraded from second-degree murder to premeditated. But look at here. Because of the Hill, we did not even have to wait for the trial to know if he actually sent pictures or not. This is the article from the Hill. It was written 2/7/23. Memphis police officer texts pictures of Tyree Nichols following beating. A Memphis police officer had admitted to using his personal cell phone to send out a picture of Tyree Nichols after he brutally beaten and arrested on January the 7th. Demetrius Haley admitted to sending a photograph of Nichols bleeding and half conscious to at least 5 people, including 2 fellow officers, a civilian employee of the department, and a female acquaintance, who I am sure but cannot prove because I'm not from there, neither do I know anybody there, but I am more than sure that the female acquaintance is the fuel that got Demetrius Haley all heated up to look for Tyree Nichols to beat him till his life left his body. The article continues to say, according to the documents sent to the Tennessee Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission and obtained by the, according to the paper, Memphis Chief of Police Cerilyn C.J. Davis sent a decertification request to the commission in regards to the 5 black officers involved in the beating. The commission did not immediately respond to the Hill's request for comments. Those 5 officers, Demetrius Haley, Thaddeus Bean, Emmett Martin III, Desmond Mills Jr., and Justin Smith, have been fired and indicted on 1 charge of second-degree murder, 1 charge of aggravated assault, 2 charges of aggravated kidnapping, 2 charges of official misconduct, and 1 charge of official oppression. Video footage of the beating released last month shows Haley approaching Nichols as he was leaning against the car and shining a flashlight at him before pointing his phone in Nichols' direction. Haley then walks away for a brief moment, looks at his phone before returning to where it's still propped against the car and appearing to aim his phone at Nichols in direction yet again. The Memphis Police Department prohibits officers from using personal cell phones while performing patrol duties during the New York Times report. Well, the thing is that that's a violation that he did not break because he was using his cell phone not during police patrol duties, but during a personal time. This was personal, people. He beat this boy to death and he wanted to show, yeah, this is what I did and this is what I will do. This is what they had been doing. And if Tyree Nichols hadn't died, this is what they still would be doing. This was a bad, bad guy. And it's shameful that it took the death of Tyre Nichols for them to be exposed. There are articles out there of individuals in the neighborhood that talk about how these guys on the Scorpion unit was harassing the whole entire neighborhood. The young lady whose arm, Demetrius Haley, dislocated her shoulder, and he failed to write up the report about it. To this day, she says she still don't know why she was handcuffed and apprehended. A lot of this got to go back to C.J. Davis. Memphis Police Department has to be held accountable. What type of individual? What is going on with your psyche that you can whoop a guy half to death at that particular time and then take pictures of it and send it out? Stop saying that this was police brutality, because it wasn't. This was not police brutality. This was the work of a simp Negro that happened to be a police. Don't forget to check us out tomorrow night at 7:30 Central Time. Truth Be Told Flex Podcast. I'm your host here, Yeshua Judah. We will also have Ayo Ben Yahoo, and we will also have Oxafaya Shehu. Until then, I hope you enjoy. Peace. Let me know in the comments what you think, if this was police brutality or not. Let me also know what you think, that if the charges need to be upgraded from second degree to premeditated. Hope to see you tomorrow night on the Truth Be Told Flex Podcast. Shalom.